the tales of the skeleton warriors.
1994 was a wild year for cartoons, each one trying to grab a piece of that Saturday morning magic. Some became cult favorites, others disappeared almost as fast as they came. But every one of them had that unforgettable 90s energy. Let's rewind to 1994 and look back at the short-lived and forgotten animated gems of the era. Number 10, BattleTech, the animated series.
This is the inner sphere. Thousands of planets colonized by humankind. Once it was united under the Star League. But for the last 300 years, it has been consumed by savage wars.
Based on the 1984 tabletop strategy game by Jordan Weissman and L. Ross Babcock III. BattleTech, the animated series, followed Major Adam Steiner and his ragtag squad, the Somerset Strikers, as they fought to reclaim their home planet from the ruthless faction
known as the Clans.
The show had all the ingredients for a hit. Giant war machines called battle mechs, political intrigue, and a built-in fan base from the popular board and video games. Produced by Saban Entertainment for first-run syndication, it tried to capture that same Saturday morning magic that made Transformers and G.I. Joe a household name. But while the story had ambition, the execution stumbled. The mix of traditional animation and early CGI battle sequences was jarring. More PlayStation cutscene than epic mech battle. The non-CG scenes looked decent, but those clunky digital effects pulled you right out of the action. The series ended after just 14 episodes. A tie-in video game, BattleTech 3050, hit the Sega Genesis around the same time, and was later rebranded as MechWarrior 3050 for the SNES. Ironically, the games in the tabletop franchise would go on to have far longer lives than the cartoon. Today, BattleTech remains a name known to strategy and mech fans alike. But this short-lived 1994 series is mostly remembered as an ambitious misfire, from an era when 3D animation was still learning to walk. Number 9, Beethoven, the animated series.
Beethoven!
Following the success of the 1992 family film, Beethoven, the animated series, brought the lovable St. Bernard to Saturday mornings. Produced by Ivan Reitman, the cartoon followed Beethoven and the Newton family as he caused chaos in and around their suburban home. The show expanded Beethoven's world, adding a cast of animal friends, including Sparky the Stray from the film, Ginger, and Caesar. Unlike the movies, Beethoven could actually talk to other animals, giving him plenty of chances to crack jokes and share his side of the story.
Now, see, Caesar, this is a good thing to chew. It's nice and crunchy, and you can really sink your teeth into it.
And what's wrong with one of these again?
Never mind.
Premiering on CBS on September 10th, 1994, each episode featured 2 short 10-minute stories, making for a quick, kid-friendly watch. Nicole Tom, who played the teenage daughter in the movies, was the only original cast member to return for the animated version.
Oh, Beethoven, that is so gross.
While the animation was solid and the stories light and easy to follow, CBS decided not to renew the show after its initial 13-episode run. The only real tie-in merchandise came through Dairy Queen Kids Meals, which is a pretty odd legacy for a major movie property. Still, Beethoven the animated series was a harmless slice of early 90s nostalgia. In 2020, the series found a second life, when it quietly popped up on Peacock, giving fans a chance to revisit one of the decade's most wholesome cartoon adaptations. Number 8, Conan and the Young Warriors.
Together, battling the forces of evil, they are Conan and the Young Warriors.
A sequel to Conan the Adventurer, this short-lived series shifted the spotlight from the mighty barbarian to a new trio of heroes, known as the Chosen Ones, young warriors who possessed magical star stones.
Nava, the power over animals. Bryn, the power of illusion. And Dragon, the power of invincible art.
Conan's new mission? To train and protect the trio until they were ready to rule the mythical land of Hyboria. The idea was to pass the torch and aim the show at a slightly younger audience. But fans expecting more of Conan's sword-swinging adventures were a bit let down. Interestingly, the series drew some influence from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, blending barbarian fantasy with post-apocalyptic themes. And it had real talent behind the scenes. Developed by Michael Reeves, a writer known for his work on Gargoyles and Batman the Animated Series. Produced by Sunbow Productions for CBS, Conan and the Young Warriors ran for just 13 episodes between March and May of 1994. Despite its impressive pedigree, the show never found the same spark as Conan the Adventurer, and quickly vanished from the Saturday morning lineup. Still, it's an interesting footnote in Conan's animated history, an ambitious idea that tried to evolve the legend, but ended up feeling more like a spin-off that lost its edge. Number 7, Jin Jin in the Panda Patrol. One of the more obscure shows to hit Fox Kids in the mid-90s, Jin Jin and the Panda Patrol was created by the Beijing Golden Panda Animation Company and reworked for American audience by Saban Entertainment. The story followed Jin Jin, a heroic panda whose peaceful home is destroyed by the henchmen of Dr. Mania.
Now we don't have a place to live anymore, darn that Dr. Mania!
A mad scientist bent on turning Earth back into a primitive wasteland.
Yes, Jin Jin! Once I've captured him for my experiments, I can continue with my diabolical plans to rule the entire planet!
Teaming up with a group of animal allies, Jin Jin set out to stop Dr. Mania's schemes, restore nature, and protect endangered species along the way. Clearly aimed at a younger audience, each episode wrapped its adventure around a moral or environmental message, a common theme in early 90s children's programming.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself hogging all the bamboo. Oh.
Despite its heavy-handed lessons, Jin Jin and the Panda Patrol had charm, colorful animation, and a surprisingly global reach. It ran for one season of 26 episodes on Fox Kids and was dubbed into multiple languages for international broadcast. It didn't leave much of a cultural footprint, but for a handful of kids growing up in the mid-90s, Jin Jin and the Panda Patrol was one of those forgotten Saturday morning curiosities, equal parts wholesome and weirdly fascinating.
I'm sure glad Jin Jin's okay. I'd hate to see the series end after the first show. I should have known he'd be all right. After all, he is the hero. Besides, I signed a contract for 26 episodes.
Number 6, Monster Force. Created by Universal Cartoon Studios, Monster Force brought the studio's legendary monsters into the world of high-tech 90s action. The show followed Dr. Reed Crawley, a scientist who developed powerful exosuits that gave humans superhuman strength and abilities.
Emacs on!
With a team of college students known as Monster Force, he set out to battle classic Universal villains, including Count Dracula, the Mummy, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. In a fun twist, Frankenstein's monster actually fought with the heroes this time, helping them protect humanity from the other creatures of the night.
No, you will not harm Shelley.
Premiering in April 1994 and running through July, Monster Force aired in syndication for a single 13-episode season. It stood out with surprisingly solid animation and a darker tone compared to other kids' cartoons of the era. Even though many kids at the time hadn't seen the original Universal horror films, Monster Force still found a small cult following. It was a creative blend of old-school monster lore and futuristic superhero flair, one that proved the classic creatures could still have a little life left in them. Number 5, Skeleton Warriors.
These are the tales of the Skeleton Warriors.
In 1994, CBS brought a surprisingly dark and ambitious cartoon to Saturday mornings with Skeleton Warriors. The show followed Prince Lightsaber and his heroic team, the Legion of Light, as they battled the sinister Baron Dark, a former man-turned-skeletal overlord. His goal? To steal control of the Light Star Crystal, the powerful energy source that sustains their world. Created by Gary Goddard, the same creative mind behind Masters of the Universe, and inspired by the classic 1963 film Jason and the Argonauts. The series combined fantasy, science fiction, and mythology into something that looked and felt way edgier than most kids' cartoons of the time. The show was supported by a full Playmates toy line,
Skeleton Warriors, they're bad to the bone.
A short comic book series, and even a video game for the PlayStation and Sega Saturn. Despite the strong push, Skeleton Warriors ran for only 13 episodes. The series was released in a 2-disc set in 2011. It left a lasting impression on those who saw it, with a loyal following to this very day. A gothic slice of mid-90s animation that proved even Saturday mornings had room for a little dark fantasy. Number 4, Free Willy. After the massive success of the 1993 film, Warner Brothers brought Free Willy to Saturday mornings, but this time they went a little wild with the concept. The animated series followed Willy, the orca, and his human friend Jesse, who now had a surprisingly new ability. He could talk to animals.
I think you are a truth talker.
A truth talker?
What's a truth talker?
Special kids who can communicate with animals.
With Willy and the other sea creatures now fully fledged characters, the show took on a more adventurous and sometimes downright bizarre tone. Jesse and Willy found themselves facing off against an over-the-top villain known as the Machine.
We call him the Machine, but now that we can talk to you, maybe we can stop him.
Who hatched evil plans, ranging from releasing deadly parasites to creating a genetically engineered giant squid designed to hunt orcas. The series aired on ABC from September 1994 to December of 1995. While technically 2 seasons, the second one was just 8 episodes long, bringing the total to just 21. It may not have captured the emotional heart of the original movie, but Free Willy, the animated series, delivered a mix of environmental messages, action, and early 90s weirdness. And for kids who loved the film, it was just wild enough to keep watching. Number 3, The Baby Huey Show. Based on the classic Harvey Comics character, The Baby Huey Show brought the oversized, dim-witted duck back to life for a new generation. Just like in the old theatrical shorts, Huey bumbled his way through every situation, blissfully unaware of the chaos he caused, much to the frustration of everyone around him, including a hungry fox who constantly tried to eat him for lunch. Each episode followed a familiar format, one new 8-minute Baby Huey short, followed by a classic Harvey cartoon, and an old-school theatrical short. So while it technically ran for 2 seasons and 26 episodes, the amount of original material was actually pretty limited. Interestingly, the first season was produced by Carbuncle Cartoons, the same Canadian studio responsible for animating some of the best and early episodes of The Ren and Stimpy Show. Even Billy West lent his voice to Huey, giving the series a dose of that same offbeat energy.
Good round thighs, not too flabby. Nice giblets. And look, teeth. All in all, a fine example of grade A meat.
While The Baby Huey Show never made a huge splash, it served as a nostalgic revival for Harvey Toon fans, and a reminder that sometimes chaos can be cute and really, really loud. Number 2, Creepy Crawlers. Based on the popular toy line of the same name, Creepy Crawlers took the gooey fun of the Thingmaker molds and turned it into a full-blown Saturday morning superhero show. The story followed Chris Carter, an ordinary teenager who accidentally unlocked a mystical box of glowing green goop. From it emerged the Goop Mandos, bug-like superheroes made of living slime, each with unique powers and, of course, visible innards for that perfect 90s gross-out appeal.
Big, huge bugs!
Nice going, Volk, you overgrown sunlet.
You shot the poor kid!
But not all creations were friendly. The evil magician Professor Guggengrime stole the goop to create his own monstrous army of crime grimes, twisted bug creatures bent on world domination.
A whacked-out magician, Professor Guggengrime, has created a giant monster that's running amok in our city.
With his new slimy allies, Chris had to battle the professor and his hordes to save the planet. Produced by Saban Entertainment, the show leaned heavily into toy marketing, but it had enough creativity and weirdness to stand on its own, running for 2 seasons and 23 episodes. Creepy Crawlers was a perfect time capsule of mid-90s kids TV, equal parts action, slime, and unapologetic weirdness.
Man, this TV show is boring. There's no plot, but for some reason I'm getting really hungry.
Number 1, Mutant League. Based on the over-the-top video games of the same name, Mutant League took sports and cranked them up to pure chaos. The series followed pumped-up mutant athletes, hulking half-decayed, toxic warriors, competing in violent rule-breaking games for the ultimate prize, the Mutant League Championship. A massive earthquake released toxic gas that mutated Earth's population, turning athletes into bone-crushing beasts with super strength, sonic speed, and bizarre abilities. Forget teamwork, this was full-contact mayhem, where unsportsmanlike conduct was practically encouraged. Despite the sheer insanity of the concept, Mutant League had a surprising amount of personality, with colorful characters and a fun mix of sports parody. It ran for 2 seasons and 40 episodes, but it felt like it came and went in a flash, leaving behind a cult following that still remembers it fondly today. It's pure 90s energy, loud, wild, and a bit gross, and that's exactly what made Mutant League unforgettable. If you remember watching any of these, drop your favorite in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more trips down TV memory lane.